and you see the child, you don't stand there and you say, well, where is the child mother? You are the mother. You go and you take care of that child. And so the children grow up in my tradition not thinking that one person is their mother. They think about a whole bunch of people as being their mother and a whole bunch of people as being their father. And I was really sad to see that, children are possessed. They're almost like possession in the world. I couldn't have something of myself, so now, this child is my possession. Now I can control him. And what that does to the child is that it confines the child and makes the child become a rebel. And then the parents are shocked because they have spent their entire life, giving so much to this child, and here is this child who becomes a rebel. What's wrong with them? Actually, I often say the question should not be what is wrong with them. The question should be what is right with them, because that means that there is something in their spirit that refuses to die, and that's why they're able, for instance, to reject things that they do not feel are good for their spirit, and so forth. And so I find it very dangerous to have, two people educate a child or just one person educate a child. In my tradition, each person in a child's life is like a world into itself. And so if you have only one world to look into, it's like growing up with only one book. That's the only thing you have, and that does not give you many choices. But if you have many books that you can read, you can have many different ideas, many different opinions, and you can pick and choose. And I really believe that, we need to learn in the West how to invite other people to give to our child what we are not able to give to them. That is more healthy, it's more sane, and the parent can even have a break so they can rejuvenate themselves and be able to give back to this child. Because if you do not have something to give to them, you will not be able to give to them. That is just a matter of fact. And so that actually was the drive for me to write my second book, Welcoming Spirit Home, which is a book about children and community and the gift of children within community and how children create community. And so for me, that is very important reminders that children are not our possession. In fact, they are gifts from the Spirit. They are being lent to us by Spirit. And they're here to test our willingness, our generosity, and our sense of honesty. And they will challenge that to see, do we really mean that or do we not? So children are gift to the world, and how do we create the situation to enable that gift to really bloom? And I think that is something we really need to put more focus on versus just creating more war where we put the focus there. I try to stay away from recipes. But I usually call it an inspiration to people's creativity, so that they can learn to create things for themselves. Because I think that it's very dangerous to give people recipes, and then they think that everything has to be that way. I really believe that there are many different roads to healing and to conflict resolution, and my way is not the only one. Mine is just a tiny grain in the sea of sand that exists there. And so I like to be the troublemaker who inspire people, and that's what I am good at. I'm not good at giving recipes to people. Well, the experience of the Ash Circle is definitely something that is from the Dagro tribe. It is a way of resolving conflict. It is a way of bringing the community together so we can help each other get away from obstructions and from pain and from unnecessary grief, should I say. Because a lot of time when we're having conflict with someone is because we do not really know the person. And so the community help us to really see where we are not really seeing the person, so we can begin to be curious about the person again. And so how do I learn to be curious about my friend because we are having this conflict, instead of being critical of them? It is by learning how different this person is from me, and by also learning how I can learn from this person and where they're at, and how this person can also learn from my differences, and so that we can have a wider horizon, in working with each other. And so for me, conflict resolutions have been, a part of my life, from the time I was born. It's not something that we run away from. In fact, it is something we embrace. And so if you are having conflict with someone, you need to invest time to learn more about the person. And that is one of the ways that you can really see that whatever happened here is actually a gift. And so conflict resolution is something that is a part of my tradition, so that there are certain elements that definitely are important in resolving conflict. For instance, we use water. Water for us symbolizes peace, reconciliation. It is a thing that bring focus out of chaos, and also brings about wisdom. And so when you are having a conflict with someone, and they sit you down, and when the conflict is over, they'll offer you water to drink, or water to put onto each other, as a way of washing away whatever energy was stuck in you, so that you can be fresh again. And so those things are very important in our life. And or for instance, when we make the ash circle, or when someone comes, there is a strong argument going, and someone comes with a calabash of ash and throws it in the middle. It means you must stop, because you're not really hearing each other. You need a different ear to be able to listen to what is going on. Yeah. I think several centuries ago, the Dagara people, they considered themselves free spirited. When the eldest one was asked to be the king, he said, "I do not wish to control my people, but I wish to work with my people," and would not take, the place of a king. And so they decided to walk away, and to go to different place where they would be able to live, in an egalitarian societies, which is founded on spirit, but also driven by respect. The self-respect, the respect of the elder, the respect of the elders, and even the respect of the children. Which then helps people to be able to live in a harmonious way, because we believe that people must learn to think, not only for themselves, but as a collective, and not let someone else think for them. And so in that sense, the Dagara tribe is different from other tribes in Burkina Faso, because they have never had a king, and they will not have a king either. Anytime the government has suggested any such a thing, it has never worked. Now, they do have elders who act as the vision holders, not to control people, but to help guide people. And that has been, the role of the model that we have in my tribe. Well, there are businesses in Burkina Faso, but most of those businesses are government businesses. And because Burkina Faso was colonized by the French,